that is tucked into the book of Deuteronomy that most preachers skip right over, and I understand why. Deuteronomy 20:19 appears in the middle of a lengthy set of instructions about warfare, how to go to war and kill your enemies most effectively. And then all of a sudden it starts talking about trees. The ancient Israelite military code had strong feelings about trees. Did you know that? I didn't. If you besiege a town for a long time, making war against it in order to take it, you must not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. Although you may take food from them, you must not cut them down. Are trees in the field human beings that they should come under siege from you? What? Human lives are more expendable in this logic than an apple tree. The orchard is off limits, but the people have Adam. This ecological conscience shows up in the middle of a war manual, in the middle of this theology of holy war that most of us have long since left behind. I say most of us for very good reasons. War is still framed as holy by some, but not in this house. The theology described here includes the idea that God commands conquest, that some people are to be utterly destroyed. We've come to believe that a God of love does not commission genocide. Our spiritual ancestors then believed things that we no longer do, which means that our understandings evolve, and that evolution, biological, theological, spiritual evolution, is not a threat to faith. It is faith. The Deuteronomist is being practical. Y'all are going to need those trees. The tree is not your enemy. It did not choose sides. It did not vote for war. It stands in the middle of a field doing what trees do, reaching toward light, drawing water through its roots, offering fruit to anyone who comes near. There is a wisdom then in this odd passage, even though it's surrounded by theology that we rightly reject. Welcome to what it means to read the Bible. It comes to us layered, old and new, troubling and beautiful, backward and luminous all at once. A couple of months ago, I walked through a Garden of the Gods with Steve Getty, our resident research geologist. And Steve explained how layers of sedimentary rock form over vast stretches of time, building up horizontally as sediments settle and compress. And when tectonic forces push the Earth's crust upward, mountain building events, those once flat layers tilt and fold, and sometimes they turn nearly vertical. In the Garden of the Gods, they've been lifted and exposed, so you can read the story of the earth written in stone. And really, that's a great metaphor for how to read the Bible. Not as a flat document, but to read the Bible the way that geologists read rock strata. Just layer by layer, watching what has shifted, excuse me, what stays, what cracks open under pressure and reveal something new. The Christian tradition is not static, and it never was. Neither are we. I have been asked if I believe the same things I believed when I was ordained 25 years ago. And the honest answer is no, not entirely. My theology continues to change, and I hope it always does. I think that is a sign of a vigorous faith. And I believe that our theology shouldn't be a museum Shouldn't be a collection of preserved objects behind glass. It's lit from above, labeled and arranged neatly. Our theology, I think, should be more like a forest, alive and changing with the seasons, growing in directions that no one quite planned, roots going deeper than we can see, and new growth coming forth in unexpected places. The Deuteronomists believed that God commanded holy war. Later, prophets began to wonder if that was really God's voice, or was it their own fear and ambition translated into so-called divine mandate. The gospel writers came along and pushed further. Love your enemies, do good to those who persecute you. The tradition is always in conversation, always revising, always reaching. For much of human history, nature became something to be dominated and managed. The earth was raw material. The trees were either your enemy or your resource. It has taken non-indigenous people a long time to begin to understand, we're still beginning to understand, that creation is not a backdrop. It's not the stage on which the human drama is performed. Creation is the story itself, and we are woven in. The same carbon that makes the stars makes our bones. The same oxygen that filters through the leaves fills our lungs. We are not separate from the world that we're trying to protect. We are part of the world trying to protect itself. Some of us were taught that evolution is flat out wrong. And there are churches, not this church, but real ones, neighbor churches, where evolution is still treated as a sort of enemy of faith. But evolution is a story of unimaginable creativity. In the beginning, if there was a beginning, there was nothing that breathed, and then there was something that breathed. And that something became many things, and those many things became eyes that could see light, and ears that could hear music, hands that could shape clay, throats that could sing. 4 billion years of becoming, of life reaching toward more life. That is holy. That is hopeful. And it never stops. The story of creation is not a story that happened and then was over. It's still happening right now. In the soil, in the depths of the ocean, in the canopy of forests, life is still reaching, still becoming, still moving, still evolving. And so are we. So is our understanding. So is our faith. In just a minute, Paul and Leela are going to come and sing my most favorite song, at least for today. And for many days, actually. It's called The Gentle Arms of Eden. The lyrics are on an insert in your bulletin. It's written by Dave Carter. It tells the story of our existence from the very beginning, which is envisioned in our sacred myth as the garden, as Eden. And then came a single cell that's humming in the ancient sea, a creature crawling onto a virgin beach, looking around in astonishment, people singing in their cities, on the plain, and then the challenges that face us now. And all the way through, a joyful refrain. Earth is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. And if I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. As a way to be at home on this earth, not with certainty, not with a perfectly resolved theology, but with a true willingness to keep listening. To listen to the text, to the earth, to one another. The layers will keep rising and revealing themselves. If our ancestors could look at a battlefield and at least spare the trees, then maybe we can go further. Maybe we can learn to see all of life as worthy of care, not because it is useful to us, but because we are bound to it. So we keep evolving, we keep softening, we keep widening the circle of who and what belongs. And in doing so, we become a people who don't just inherit the story. We help shape what comes next.